David Feldman of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship here in South Florida. Welcome to South Florida, David.
Oh, thank you so much. Love it here.
Tell us about bare knuckle fighting and just the development of bare knuckle fighting. Great story how it started and just how it's grown.
It just really been working on this thing for about 10 years in total, and we were able to launch June 2nd, 2018, do our first event after 8 years of lobbying in 28 different states. Finally found Wyoming was able to give us the sanctioning, and then the next state was Mississippi, and then Florida actually opened up. So since then, Florida has actually kind of been our home away from home, where we've done a lot of fights here. Especially during the pandemic, it was a friendly place for us to start to allow fans back into attendance. So that worked out really well. We love it down there. Every event that we do here in Florida, anywhere in Tampa or in the Miami, Fort Lauderdale area, sells out. So it's bare knuckle fighting championship. It's where punches are the only strikes allowed. Gloves are off. 5 2-minute rounds. It's in a circular ring, and the fighters start from 2 lines that are 4 foot in length and separated by 3 foot. So it's what we call toe to line. So it's action-packed. It's non-stop, action-packed excitement the whole entire fight long.
How was it navigating through the pandemic? Because BKFC was a leader in being healthy, safe, and also putting on shows.
Yeah, I mean, we followed all the protocols. It wasn't easy, but we knew that because we were so new that if we would take off for so long until we were able to open up again, and do everything, full-blown, that people might forget about us. So it was time for us to just, knuckle down, if you will, and come in. July 24th, we did an event in Oxford, Mississippi, and then we've run 7 events so far, or actually 9 events total through the pandemic so far.
Tell us about the fighters, the talent, coming from all different areas, not just boxing.
Right. So we're getting boxers, mixed martial artists, we're getting Muay Thai fighters. You name it, they're coming to us. From Miami, we have Hector Lombard, former Bellator champion, great guy. He's going to be fighting for us in May in Miami. Uly Diaz, Thiago Alves, all these guys that really made a name for themselves in other combat sports are now coming over to this brand new combat sport, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, kind of brand new, old and new again, and and they're loving what we're doing.
This has been such a fast-growing company, sport. What has been the progress of that? Why has it taken off so much?
I think it's just because it's very fan friendly, and we're very friendly to the fighters. We do everything right with the fighters, and the fighters are telling other fighters to fight for us instead of going out there and saying don't fight for that company because they're doing something wrong. They're saying fight for this company because they're taking care of you guys. And like I said, it's fan friendly. If you come to the fight, you really don't even have time to get a beer. You're watching the fight the whole entire night, so it's great.
And it's fast paced. It's one fight after another after another. I went to Uly Diaz, one of his fights, not the one where you had the super knockout, that like 1 second or 2 second knockout,
sure.
Which went everybody was showing that.
So if you do a typical pay-per-view event, mixed martial arts or boxing, you might see 4 or 5 fights tops. On ours, you see 10 fights in our pay-per-view. So we give you a lot of money's worth.
During this pandemic run, how do you feel about the company and its growth during that run? Because you guys did pretty well during that time.
I mean, I hate to say it because how many people were affected, by the pandemic, and it's so unfortunate. But it was a great growth period for us. We exploded. We tripled our subscriber base. We tripled our fan base, our social media, everything in our company tripled during the pandemic. So it was very good for the company.
BKFC also has an app. And what other ways can people check out Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship?
You can watch it on our app. It's the Bare Knuckle TV app. You can download it anywhere that you're able to download apps. But we also have our Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship YouTube page. It has a lot of our fights on there and a lot of the content of what we've done. Our social media platforms on Instagram, Bare Knuckle FC, and on Facebook, Bare Knuckle FC. And really just dive into the app. It's only $3.99 a month, so you're getting pay-per-view events every month for that price. It's an amazing value proposition.
David, give some of your background.
I was born into this, man. I was born on October 4th, and my dad had a fighter fighting for a championship on October 6th when I was born. So literally, I was born into this. My dad trained 7 world champions. I was a former professional boxer myself. I got into promoting boxing and then mixed martial arts. And then I thought of this crazy idea of bare knuckle fighting, and here we are. one of the most talked about combat sports and combat sports promotions in the entire world.
What was it like in those early stages of having an idea and then just trying to get the right people involved and getting this thing going?
I mean, some days were just phenomenal, and other days, I was looking for a bridge to jump off of, literally, like wow, is this thing ever going to work? And then finally we were able to get the sanctioning, and really it's all she wrote. I mean, it's a roller coaster every day. It's a roller coaster. There's highs and lows, and we're pushing really hard through this. But I think that I'm not going to say we made it, but we made it past the really hard parts now, and now it's just really all about growth right now.
You mentioned your father. So your father was training fighters?
Yeah, my father is in the Hall of Fame. He trained seven world champions.
Was that ever something you wanted to do, was train fighters?
There was not a lot of money in it right now, but if I make it in this, like really make the money, and I'm done with this and I can exit the right way, I'm going to train fighters. That's what I'm going to do. I love it. It's my passion.
Have you been down to Miami, Fifth Street Gym, or any of the places down there and check those out?
Yeah, I love it there. I love it there. It's a classic. Actually, the original one my dad trained at, and then I saw where they moved the new one with Dino. He's a great guy, man, and great fighters down there. Great atmosphere for fighters. It reminds me of, besides having the garage door open, just the inside of it kind of reminds me of an old Philly gym.
Well, the old one, Muhammad Ali, Angelo Dundee, I mean, just the tradition that was there and all, that had to be an appeal as well, going down there and seeing that.
Actually, I saw an old picture from my daddy. There was an actress, Debbie Reynolds, and he had some picture with her doing something at the Fifth Street Gym, like back in the 50s.
That is awesome. Debbie Reynolds, great actress, singer, dancer. I remember that's more my era anyway. So little of that. Hey, South Florida, Paige VanZant. You guys were able to sign her. She had her debut. What was that like? I'll tell you what, that 5th round, she really came on in the 5th round. I know the decision didn't go her way. The other fighter did it, got the Duke.
Well, look, first I want to talk about Britton Hart. Britton Hart was someone that no one really talked about, and we gave her a shot, and she shined. And she did what she had to do, and she won. Now let's talk about Paige. Paige delivered. I paid her a certain amount of money, and everybody said she was overpaid. It was a very good event for us. It was a profitable event. And everything, it was the most expensive event, and it was the most money we ever brought in on an event. So it worked. She delivered everything we needed to do. What I was impressed about her is not that she won or lost, but that when she finally found her groove towards the end in the 4th and 5th round, that's when she started shining. So I really believe that this can be the sport for her, and we're going to see probably in June. She's going to come back in June, and I have a good opponent for her, a very well-known opponent, and we're going to announce that here shortly.
Upcoming fights?
We have a fight in 2 weeks, March 19th, BKFC 16 in Biloxi, Mississippi on the Bare Knuckle TV app. And then we're going to go April 30th to Birmingham, Alabama. That'll be our first fight in Alabama. And then we're coming back here on a big show, hopefully once the contract gets signed, at the Miami Dolphins Stadium, the Hard Rock Stadium. It's going to be a really big step up for us, but I think Miami's ready for it.
That's a huge venue to have an event. That's the football stadium and all. What are your thoughts about having it in that type of arena?
Well, I'm just so used to everybody saying you can't do this and you can't do that. So when I told people about that, they're saying you can't do the event there, and it's the challenge I need, because we're going to set it up so we can do about 14,000 people there, and I think we're going to do it. People are really excited. Florida, like I said, Florida's kind of the home base for bare knuckle fighting, if you will, right now, and they love it. And I think we have an opportunity to really shine, to expose more people. Once you come to a live event, that's the most important thing. I wanted to do a bigger venue so I can get fans out there live, because once you're at a live event, if you like it on TV, you'll love it live, and when you watch it live, you're hooked for life. So I want to get all these people exposed to it in person, and then they become fans.
Well, watching on TV, Uly Monster Diaz, Miami's own, that super quick KO that he had, what did that mean just to the attention, bringing eyes to...
I mean, everything, and the following event, we had Shaq in attendance, and then he came to the last event, and he said he wanted to partner with us, and then we had a great call with actually one of Uly's good friends, Pitbull, and it's just guys are coming out of the woodwork now because they see that the growth potential of this thing, and it's not just the growth potential; it's that it's also something fun and exciting to be a part of, and there's a lot of great people that are involved in this company, and I think that that makes it easier to work with. When you're working with like-minded individuals, it makes it a lot easier to work with. So. Uly Diaz, tremendous fighter, great opportunity, 3-second knockout, world's fastest combat sports knockout in history, happened in Miami, which was amazing. And then, like I said, Hector Lombard, Thiago Alves, Jared Grant, another young up-and-comer, Paige VanZant, a bunch of guys that are coming our way. We're really excited about the way everything went so far, and even more excited about the growth of the company.
And another South Florida one is Mystic Zach.
He's my guy. I love Mystic Zach. He's a guy I really wasn't sure about him, and he came out there, he nailed it on the first take. Mystic Zach actually, he breaks down all, in case you guys don't know yet, he breaks down all the odds for us on all our fights. His dad is actually Scott Hirsch, who used to manage Shannon Briggs and, you know, a couple other fighters like that. So he's a great kid to have involved. Really nice guy.
Yeah, Shannon, I believe, is living down here now, too, or has been and all as well. What a
Well,
great fighter. And was looking about having another fight. I don't know if that's ever come up, or even with you guys.
Yeah, we had an agreement with him to fight, but I think he just signed an agreement to fight on one of that Triller show on the Jake Paul undercard. I don't know who he's going to fight yet, but I think he's fighting on that one.
And you mentioned Shaq. And what was it like? Because Super Bowl weekend, Tampa, you guys have a big event over there in Lakeland, and all of a sudden I'm watching, and all of a sudden there's Shaq.
Well, the first time that I kind of had an interaction with him, I was eating dinner with the family at home, and he FaceTimed me. I didn't recognize it. I'm like, so I didn't answer. And then he texted me. He's like, "Yo, it's Shaq. Pick up." So I'm like at the dinner table, FaceTiming Shaq, and I'm like, man, this is unbelievable. Like, wow, look at where this thing is going. Like, and that's when I started really feeling like, wow, this is really truly unbelievable. You know what we grew so far. So we were actually, I was on an investor Zoom the other day, and he called me. He FaceTimed me again from the set of TNT, and he's like, "Yo, what's up?" And I'm like, I would never answer because I'm pitching these investors. You know what it's like pitching an investor. I'm pitching them, and I'm like, I guess I gotta answer. I'm like, "Yo, it's Shaq," and they're like, "Yo, it's Shaq," and they're like, "Holy shit!" So it was great. It was it was a phenomenal thing. He's just, people don't really know. You know, if you don't really know him, he's a phenomenal. He's the hardest worker ever. He works 24 hours a day, but he's just a nice person. He's a really nice, giving person. I really like the guy.
Now today, Athlon Rub, something you came to the facility here to see about this product. How did this all work out for you? Still in the process of seeing if you're going to do something with Athlon Rub, but what do you think about it and just being here?
I absolutely think we're going to do some type of partnership with Athlon Rub. I've heard a lot about it in the past, and I've got a lot more information. You know, once we get through this one slight concern, we're going. I think we're going to take this product and really blow it up. It's a great product, great people behind it, and it works. And that's the thing. Like, there's a lot of great products out there that people claim work. There's a lot of testimonial on this that it works. So a lot of the fighters that use it and a lot of the normal people that use it say it works, and that's all the testimonial you need to tell you that it works, that it really works. And I've met people that used it, and I've heard of people that use it, so I think it's a great product for us to partner with.
You were able to get a tour of the facility here in South Florida and go through that, look a little bit around, and also talk to Anthony with Athlon Rub, the creator, developer of the product, and also the people that are working with the facility here.
Sure.
As all. What was it like just being here and doing all that?
I always like seeing new things, and this is not in my wheelhouse, and I got to see how these things are made and some different cosmetics and stuff, and it's really impressive. This is actually the new packaging for Athlon Rub. I love it because it's travel size, and you can take it with you anywhere you want to go. It's a product that I think the company is proud to endorse. I'm actually going to be using it tonight, so I'll let you know how it works tomorrow.
And basically, this is obviously for the muscles.
Right.
And what more do you know about that?
So why I really want to use Athlon Rub, why I'm really intrigued with this, is for the fighters, for their hands, because their hands, obviously it's bare knuckle fighting, and a lot of people think that their hands break, and their hands really don't break. We actually have less hand breaks than boxing or MMA, but their hands swell. And this is going to really help for their swelling, to get the inflammation down and get the pain out of their hands after their fights, and also while they're training for the fights or pre-fight, so they go into the fight and they don't have pain going into the fight. So that's why I'm really intrigued by the product, because I think it's going to help all of our athletes' hands and joints and wrist areas. That's what I'm looking at it for.
And there were a lot of
obviously
fighters.
The rest of the body that's going to work, but I'm obviously we're a fist business, so I'm worried about protecting my fighters' fists, and I think that Athlon Rub is going to do that for us.
And it's interesting too, because you do a lot with marketing, and whether you're investors, dealing with investors, and all these different things and sponsorships and all like that. You mentioned Shaq, you mentioned Pitbull too, as far as maybe Pitbull wants to get involved maybe in this, or who knows?
He's very good friends with Uly Diaz. That's why he's even interested. So we'll see. I mean, that's not even, we didn't even start that conversation yet. But the Shaq thing, you know, a writer came up to him, USA Today writer, and said, "What are you doing here?" And he said, I'm going to be an investor in this company." And I was like, "Are you? That's awesome." Like, I didn't know. I knew he was a fan of it, and I knew he was interested. But then I was like, "Wow." So you heard it from the horse's mouth.
And that opens doors. Like you said, you're in with your investors and you're like, okay, I'll take this call. But then it's actually like, it's a good sales pitch too, saying, hey, well, he might be doing something with us and all. So to be able to do that, the celebrity endorsement, that's what I was getting to. So celebrity endorsement, they're businessmen and women as well. How important is that for a company to have something like that in its growth?
Look, let me just rewind for a second and tell you really like where this thing started and where we're at now. We started in warehouses. We started in backyards. Like we ran, you know, I was promoting fights at the same time, and I was doing these fights because big publications like Rolling Stone magazine or Esquire magazine, they were reaching out to me for stories because they knew I was doing this. So I had to do stuff to keep it relevant so people were talking about it. But at the same time, I was risking my livelihood because had something happen, I wouldn't have had a promoter's license. But I saw something here, and that if the difference is I was pushing towards regulation. Like I wasn't running from people. I was knocking on every door and saying, regulate us so we can do this the right way. Finally, we got regulated. So to start where we started, you know, really nowhere, and to be where we're at now, and even having these conversations, it's like you know, it's like, yeah, I pinch myself. I'm like, am I really talking to this guy? Is this really happening? You know, all of our company really, all the team members, we really push each other towards greatness. You know, we always are pushing each other and helping each other every day. So I think that's really why we treat everybody right. And I think, you know, when you do good things come back to you. And I think that's what's happening right now for the company.
And lastly, David, thank you so much for your time. Just anything else you'd like to let us know about Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship?
We just have a lot of events. Make sure you check out, because it's going to be Miami, watching it and reading. We'll be posting that next event really, really soon. It's going to be a tremendous event. Can't wait to see you guys out there. And thank you very much for the support. And check us out on the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram pages.
And David, I'm going to let you go on this. Do you have a favorite boxer or a few boxers or fighters of all time? Does anything come to mind for David Feldman?
Yeah, I used to like a fighter. Marvin Hagler was a really good fighter of mine. My dad, like I said, my dad trained 7 world champions, and one of them was a real good crowd favorite, Frank the Animal Fletcher, who fought everybody. I liked him, but a fighter that I never saw fight, except I saw a video of him, Willie Pep. So he's a fighter that actually won a round without throwing a punch. He just made the guy miss the whole entire round, didn't throw one punch and won the round. So he's one of my favorite fighters as well.
Well, marvelous Marvin Hagler. How could you go wrong with that one?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, David.
Thanks for your time.